Hi, this is Roger. This is my Sunday morning. Well, you could call it a chat, you could call it a gripe, you could just call it grrr. I've got the PC back up. Everything's sort of working again, but my video editing software was lost, and they have a lovely policy where you can't reinstall the software you've purchased via a download after a year. So I've lost it, so I've had to buy it again. Luckily on Amazon, older versions of the software are sold off cheap, and I could have gone for the latest version of Power Director, but I see no point. All the bells and whistles that have been added to that software I don't need. I'm quite happy with the version I had, so I've purchased that. And this time I've made sure I buy the disc, so if ever something daft like this happens again, I can reinstall. But until I get my video editing software, I'm going to have to keep my videos short, because my camera has a maximum file size, and if that gets exceeded, it splits onto a second file, and I've got no means of joining clips back together again until my software arrives. So short and sweet, no starts, no ends, no pop-ups, no text, no nothing, just the raw video. That's all I can load. It's only going to be for a few days, not the end of the world. One of the real big deals is I lost all my bookmarks across the top of Google, so all my stored pages about orchid related stuff is lost. Now they do provide a backup, yeah, but it doesn't work. I found the backup files, and when I tried to recover the bookmarks bar, failed miserably, so I'm literally going to have to start again. As far as my lost software, because basically it uninstalled everything that wasn't Windows as part of the rebuild. But it gave me a list of everything that it's taken out. So I've got a list to work from, and I can just plod away at getting stuff back in again. A lot of it was free software anyway. But the most important thing obviously was getting YouTube up and working, and getting my antivirus software installed before I start downloading anything, obviously. So the protection's there now. So I'm sort of back up and running as far as YouTube is concerned, but can't do edited videos for a few days. The software it says it'll arrive on Wednesday. It may arrive Tuesday. So yeah. The PC actually crashed in the middle of producing my next video to post, so the production didn't complete. So all the parts to that video are there. You know, I can finish it off when I get the software, but I'm a bit stuck on that front at the moment. And the worst thing is my Facebook page is totally screwed, and that's a low priority, but basically when I load up Facebook I get a list of things down the left hand side to look at, which I can click on and look at, but they fill the whole page. You know, it's just rubbish compared with how it was before, where the news feed was down the middle, all my Facebook groups were down the left hand side, and a list of people down the right hand side, a nice layout which I've lost, and it's a low priority to get that sorted out. Don't use Facebook that much anyway, but it's a pain having to do all this, I must admit. Yeah, my Sunday morning chat video, which crashed halfway through producing it, was all going to be about light levels and stuff like that. Well, I've still got that video, so I'm just going to save it up. So I'm just going to keep this short. I'm back up and running. YouTube's working fine. I can see other people's videos. I couldn't at first because the video playing software was lost. So I've got everything back up. I had no sound on the PC. That took a while to work out what had gone wrong. But it had reconfigured my PC back to the onboard sound card instead of my 5.1 Theatre sound card, so I had to play with that and reconfigure that. But yeah, the basics are up and running, so I'm sort of there. And as I said, my camera's going to start splitting files soon, so I'll have to keep this one short and sweet, and that's just how it goes for now. And we'll get back to full normality as soon as possible. Normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. Yeah. And it will be only a couple of days. So I'll see you then, and until then it's just going to be a bit quiet. You know, I don't see any point in doing little short videos and making stuff up just for the sake of posting. Tomorrow is in fact the 8th, so everything in bloom on the 8th can still take place, but things like plant names and all stuff like that, tough. I can put them in the description. At least I've got access to that. But yeah, pop-ups and text and all that sort of stuff and edited videos are just on hold at the moment, and I'll get back to normal as soon as possible. Pain in the proverbial, to say the least, but these things are sent to try us, and the one good thing, I suppose, is the fact that Windows is completely rebuilt from scratch. It's nice and tidy now. And a lot of the software I'd installed I hardly ever use, so I may not even bother reinstalling it and just keep the computer a bit tidier. With essentials only. The less that's on it, the less there is to go wrong. That's my theory. It may be true, may not. We shall see. But it's a flipping nuisance that Windows got itself in such a mess that it couldn't even load. So I couldn't even get to do a backup. You have to have Windows loaded to do the backup, and it wouldn't load. It just kept failing to load, restarting, going into automatic repair, failing to do it, restarting, and it just kept going round in a loop. It just kept failing miserably. And I just basically went into safe mode, and the options were, you know, reinstall Windows was the only sensible option. And at least it kept all of my personal stuff, so I haven't lost any of my data. That was all kept safe. And the software that I uninstalled, it gave me a list to work from, so not as bad as it could have been. Saves me trying to remember what the hell I'd installed. But gradually the need will come. You know, I'll think, right, I need to go and have a look at my bank. You know, and I can reset things like that. So we'll get there eventually. And until then, I think no, there isn't. It's not really worth trying to film anything. It's early in the day. The light level's low. So that's my Sunday morning gripe chat thing. Yeah, I spent most of yesterday right into quite late in the evening getting everything sorted out. Not an easy task. I mean, it took most of the afternoon for Windows to do its thing and get my computer back in my ownership, in my control. That took absolutely ages. So we're there. We're getting there anyway. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for your patience, and as I say, we'll get back to normal soon. See you again.